Girl was late for our date, barely engages during date, and then says vibe was off.
You think that's pretty obvious. If a woman likes you, she's going to be interested in talking to you. She's going to have enthusiasm. When she behaves that way, she's not interested. And yeah, it's accurate that the vibe was off, but it's obvious from the time that she sat down that she was not feeling it. Maybe it was an online date and they had, because a lot of guys just text and then set dates. And if you're going to do online dating, I've always found it best to do some kind of a video date or at the very least talk on the phone. If you can have a conversation on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes and feel like you're excited to talk to them and vice versa, there's absolutely no reason to meet in person. And so if that guy's on a date from somebody he met online and having that kind of experience, that is the result typically of not vetting the person that you're going out with. And because you can do that with, like, especially like Tinder and some of these other apps, it's easy to, for the most part, to set a date and meet up for a drink, and then you get there and you're like, and she's probably thinking, hey, he doesn't really look like his pictures, and she's not really excited to talk to him, probably because they didn't talk ahead of time. And so he wasted his time, he wasted money, and quite frankly, on some level, he's going to feel rejected because I'm sure he was excited, thinking, maybe this is the one, maybe this will be the date that just makes it feel like all the others are worth it. And then you go out and you have an experience like this, and it's like, oh, to me, that's avoidable. And that's why it's great to meet somebody in person, because if you meet somebody in person, you either click or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you don't click in person, you think, oh, well, at least I got the number. I mean, I'll get her to like me later. If you didn't click the first time you met, it's not. You want somebody that's excited to be with you, not that.
She's probably pre-warming up for after she goes out with her girlfriends.
Or
so
she was
trying to get a free dinner out of somebody.
Yeah, because she had Chad Thundercock coming over later to rearrange her
I'll
inside
get warmed up, get some drinks,
beat up her pelvis properly.
Food. And then she's like, I'm going to go out with my girlfriends or go see somebody else. Like, that was just saying the vibe was off. That's the weakest excuse I've ever heard.
Well, it's true, though. I would say that's a true statement, but from the time she sat down, she already knew that just from the sounds of it, it sounds like they met, they texted a few times on Tinder or message, and then chose to meet, thinking it's going to be fine. I'm like, man, you should at least be talking on the phone, or at least like a FaceTime chat or a Skype chat, especially if you're going to date internationally like I've done. It's like if you're meeting somebody from another country, you need to talk and see their facial expressions and hear their voice so you can see how it feels. You're going to hop on a plane for 10 or 15 hours to go see somebody that's halfway around the world or in South America somewhere. You want to know that you click and you're excited to see her and she's excited to see you. And you're not going to get that if you're just talking over the phone, and especially if you're just emailing or messaging or even sending each other voice messages back and forth on like WhatsApp. Video dating will cut a lot of BS out. You'll have less dates, but your dates will be better, because going out and having that kind of experience is the thing that sucks, and that's why people hate dating. It's because of that kind of experience. They're like, oh, he wasted his time, he wasted his money, and she didn't like him anyways.
She probably did it on purpose.
But she appreciates the free meal.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it was for.
Thanks for the drinks.
Have a
Chad Thundercock sends his regards.
Now she's prepped and ready.
Yeah. I have one that I will never forget. His Instagram photos were from 2018. He slid into my DMs. I never answer any thirst, like hungry men shit. But for some reason,
even though she posts the thirsty
pictures
and videos,
it was more of like science based. Like, oh, like I'm not gonna say like what it's about, because if you guys start messaging me about this shit, it's not gonna work.
Don't give away too many of your secrets.
Long story short, he rented a yacht for us to go on after we went on to dinner. He was late to dinner.
The grand
I sat at the bar for 30 minutes. He shows up.
But he got a yacht, right?
Hungover as fuck.
He had a yacht there, right?
Admits that he was at Space until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Space? What Space is
in
that?
Miami?
10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
He's doing that booger sugar.
He was doing God knows what kind of drugs until 10 a.m. Then he rallied to the date like he did me a fucking favor.
You're
I mean,
lucky
I was
made
having
it
a great
here.
time. I was in the pool with my dad and my dog, drinking cold beers, having a great time. I didn't need to go on a date or some yacht. I was content. And I'm sitting at the bar waiting for this guy. Next thing I know, I'm like, who are you? And he's like, hey, I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm still looking at him like, who?
This was a Tinder date?
No, I don't do any of that.
How did you? Oh, he slid into your DMs.
Yeah, and it was like all science based. So I was like intrigued. Like he caught.
So you never talked on the phone before you met?
We were texting, and it was like very.
See.
No, it was all like on point. And it was I had this feeling, I'm like, I should FaceTime this motherfucker. I'm like,
Caroline did a video about that. I got a lot of shit about
I'm like,
that.
it's too good. It's
People
too
are like,
good.
just
I'm like,
meet her
there's
out.
something wrong. I'm like, there's something wrong. I'm like, there's no way that somebody clicks like this. And there's got to be a red flag. I'm like, there has to be.
Spidey senses.
he ugly?
My Spidey senses were
was ugly, wasn't he?
He was like 50 pounds overweight than the photo that he posted.
See?
That happened to me one time.
And like he looked
catfish.
He looked like he was
catfished by the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
It had to been the same guy.
He looks like he was like living at space.
Oh, swear.
Like the amount of
and the all-you-can-eat breakfast bar.
Yeah, like the spatial extracurricular.
He was a regular at Golden Corral.
You can have. He was at that bar all day, all night, all day, all night.
He had the VIP suite at Golden Corral.
Definitely could have afforded the VIP for sure, but I mean.
So did you go on the yacht or what?
I went on the yacht.
How big was it?
Not big enough, but it was big.
How many feet?
It was big enough for his belly.
How many feet was it?
It was big enough that his belly couldn't capsize.
Did he have a crew or was was he driving? So how big was it?
There was a couple rooms.
Was it his
how many feet?
It?
How many feet?
I didn't look, but I mean, it was at least 50.
Materialistic questions.
It was he wanted to, originally he wanted to rent a sailboat.
And did you test out the master suite with him on the yacht?
No.
I don't know.
Are you kidding?
But did you have a good time?
Maybe things turned around later.
I had a great time. We stopped at a liquor store. I made sure to get the champagne I liked. And
so what's the problem? He was ugly?
It was a fucking catfish.
He was ugly and FAT.
It was a catfish.
But did you have a good time? After a couple years, you might
No, because once you meet in person, it's completely different than texting somebody.
Well, that's your own fault.
See,
that's what I just said.
Told you guys. Like I said, that video that it was one that Caroline had filmed, and people gave me a lot of shit in the comments when we published it this past week. They're like, "Oh, you should just meet her out." It's like, yeah, but why? You'll get more dates that way, but those kinds of things are like. It was like the one I was talking about with the girl with the acne. It's like, oh, you don't properly vet. It's like you got to spend a weekend with somebody that comes to visit you like that.
His feet, I
Picking
don't know
up girls
if they
at 2 a.m. when you've had too many cocktails.
We weren't talking about her feet.
we were asking if her feet smelled. I don't know if his feet smelled.
I wonder if she watches this. She goes, "Oh my god, he's talking about me."
That was a long time ago. It's a lot of years. That was early 90s.
This.
Oh, like yeah. You never know.
I couldn't even tell you what her name was.
I bet she knows your name.
Maybe.
Oh well. But yeah,
it's just one of those damn.
You vet them. I definitely say do a FaceTime from experience.
Yeah.
If it's too good to be true,
it probably is.
Don't go.
If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Don't go. Make up an excuse.